Hi, Blues Matters here again. We have Pancho, we have Katie Knipp. Pancho is the bass guitarist of Katie Knipp's group. He's also a wonderful producer. Now, Katie has decided to remix the last album, Me, into something a little different. Now we're going to try and find out exactly why. Who would
Well,
like to answer that?
this
Why
was
not?
all this was all Pancho Tomaselli's idea, and why don't you tell him about it?
Well, since the very first time that I play with Katie, I always felt that her voice was too diverse and huge to just stay in one place. I mean, I'm an immigrant, I jump borders, so I move around. So the same thing with music. I love diversity, not necessarily changing her whole style and going somewhere else, but why not, you know? Why not make sure that people can hear what I'm hearing sometimes when we play together? I'm like, "Ah, I wish we could do a house thing of that." Actually, that's how we came out. We were at the Vampire Ball and we were playing a song called Vampire. And I saw everybody was so into it. And it's kind of a house crowd, all those Nosferatu people. They love house and weird stuff. And I love that. And I thought about it while we were playing. And then the day after, I told her. She yelled at me. She always yells at me. And I say stuff like, "You should print vinyl." And then she prints vinyl. She sells it all. So I told her about a remix thing. So after like an hour of like acting like a car salesman, selling or pitching the idea, I brought some examples from Papel Gilberto. I don't know if you know Papel Gilberto. Astrid Gilberto's daughter. She did a great album, and the album was great. She remixed the whole thing, kind of like what Katie did. So um, I was super excited to get the opportunity to do it, and I grabbed the stems, and I'm very ADD, so I hyper focused for like a week. So in a week, I had like basically all the skeletons of all the songs with all the styles and all the bass lines and all the rewrites and whatever it was. And then I presented it to her. I will send her a track every day. Remember that? It was like, here's
Yeah.
another one. I'm like, oh my God, what is in this weed? Here's another one, and it happened. The first one, I remember the first track I did, something was going down politically in the country, and I was super dark, and I remixed that Lava Pot on heavy metal.
It was extra metal.
It was so dark, and I was like, yeah, and all my friends, I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. And then I showed it to Katie, and she's like, no, that's too dark.
Find a middle ground.
Yeah, so that's how it happened. I mean, I talk a lot, so that's in a nutshell. I wish it's the burst of impulse and why not? Like I know I can do it, so let's do it. You know, she did pay me very well for
I
it.
thought it was
Not
fun that
like it was
each
a
one.
favor or anything. I mean, part of the yelling
I
was
thought it
that.
was fun.
Anyway,
It was neat that each one had its own style completely. It had a metal, a house, a drum and bass, a trip hop, a neo soul. So each one has its own little house of sound, which I'm having fun with.
just look at American culture. They love Target. You have everything in it. So it's like, why not give them an album with like a whole like Fruit Loops on it of music? And I thought it was a great idea because I feel like the market has switched to individual songs rather than records now. So it's okay if a fan grabs that album and likes just one song, the house song. That's fine. So why not do it like that? And it's like she dressed her kids for Halloween and took them out. That's all what she did.
So our vinyl collecting friends are loving the pink vinyl and the whole collection. They've been buying them a lot. So
It looks
that's
like
fun.
bubble gum. I love it. Yeah.
Hot pink bubble gum.
Yeah, the issue was like some sort of insecurity about her hardcore Americana and blues fans, which is 95% of her market. And it was either the decision of they're either going to get really upset and drop out or embrace it as like, wow, how cool is this that she can do that? And luckily, a lot of them took it, a lot of them. A lot of them are going like, wow, this is weird, but I love it. And so it was a risk from Katie, because she's worked hard to get to where she's at here in this part of the country. It's a tough crowd up here, So it was a scary move, I can see, but at the same time, no one hears Katie like I do from a bass player perspective, you know. Like when we perform and she really is on. I tell you, I get upset with me, Katie, but with some
It's okay.
it's still you guys have not heard Katie yet. That's what I'm trying to say. What she puts on her albums, it's close enough. It's like
Mm.
an 8%. But that freaking 2% that you see when she performs live is what hooked me to the whole thing. So like that's what I feel as her friend and bass player, we're gonna try to like achieve that on the next record even more, with her writing and her band. It's very solid now. So it's gonna be good.
I'm excited about the future number 10 that we'll be working on in 2026.
But
I
the
think I
world's
already
gonna
have
end in 2026. So yeah, we got a good one.
14 song ideas so far that just need to
Mhm.
be completed.
14? I'm gonna make some money on this record. That's
Doesn't mean we're putting all 14.
Well, it is what it is. Like it was like I said, a little like risk taken. Also due to the fact that Americana fans are very narrow minded, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So it was interesting to see it, and it was even more interesting to realize that they actually like it. And like there's blues stations playing her crazy record now. Like blues stations. I'm like, really? That's a house track. But it's kind of cool. I think it makes everybody more open minded. And we're artists after all, we get to
Yeah.
do what we want. That's why we're
Could you
artists.
talk about Outlaw Doc? Because that was the most bluesy one on the album, and you've totally taken
That
that.
was the most jarring mix for me, for sure.
Yeah.
In fact, you know the director Quentin Tarantino?
Yes.
Yeah, so I picture
They call
that
me
in a
back.
Quentin Tarantino chase scene in a movie, percent.
That was an interesting remix because it's actually a social, like an experiment based on a study of low beat variance music during hard times in
Right.
society. So I was basing that study to create a track that feels like it's a freight train that never stops. Like there's no breaks on that track. There might be one pause of like a half a 16 note there that it's at the end, but everything is like from the beginning to the end. I wanted to do that on the style of like a British band, Propeller Heads, actually. Kind of that breakbeat that came out in 2000, early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s.
Mhm.
So I was young then, so I think that's what I remember as fun music, and it was that. I grabbed Mick's harmonica and ran it through some filters and chop it up, and
Yeah, the late, great Mick Martin, who passed away this year, he heard this before he passed away. And I said, "Do I have your permission to release this remix?" And he goes, "Well, I didn't know I played the mosquito, but yeah."
that
He
was a
had a
fun.
good sense of humor about it. And he's also really encouraged. He was always very encouraging for me to be as original as I felt like being without any apologies. And I'll always appreciate that about him.
It was interesting recording with Mick on your Me album because we've never met, right? And he was back then, we've never met, and he's such a like blues entity, and I'm just a punk, I'm a punk guy that can play African music and shit, and so it's very different backgrounds, and I can tell he was like a little shy when he got into the studio, and so was I. And he told me, he's like, what do you want me to do? And I literally said, whatever the hell you want. And I sat him on a stool and I said, just rip through this. Don't even think about the parts.
Right.
Just solo the whole way through, rip, like whatever comes to mind. And we'll do like 3 passes of those. So he did 3 passes, just rip through the entire solo, couple passes. After the third pass, I said, okay, you're done. He goes, what do you mean? I'm like, that's it. Because in my opinion, it was easier for me to get his vibe out as a producer by telling him to be himself rather than tell him what to play. When A, I don't come from a blues background.
Right.
B, I don't know what the fuck. Harmonica. This big. I played bass. So it was just like, be yourself, have fun. What do you need? You want beer? What do you want? What do you want? And then we'll see you in 15 minutes. And that's how we recorded his parts. And he said he had fun. He was making
Yeah.
jokes. He was a character. My God.
Yeah. He's like the godfather of the Sacramento blues area here. So
Basically, yeah. Now he's like, he's like the Jedi. Yeah, his spirit appears in the side of the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you
That was fun.
think the blues fraternity would take to this?
What was that?
How do you think the blues fraternity would think about mix matching the song?
Well,
I think they would want what he wants, which is us
Mhm.
to release it and have fun.
Yeah, that's what in my punk head, that was the right thing to say. I was just gonna say, I don't give a fuck what they think. But listen to Katie, I'm a 5-year-old child still. I'm sorry. So, like I said, I think blues is art, and art evolves and changes and diversifies. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? If blues stayed the way it stayed forever, we would have never had Black Sabbath. So
Exactly.
I think it's okay. It's okay to put on a pair of red shoes and a miniskirt sometimes, even if you're a dude, and go for it. Go for it. And who cares what people think? Because even if some people hate it, I know some people are going to love it too. And that's the whole point of a remix, to get her songs into places where otherwise she will never be exposed to. And she needs exposure. And that's the whole point of it. Has nothing to do with like, oh my God, I'm getting old, so I'm going to do young people music. This is not young people music. How's this been there since forever? Drum and bass is 30 years old. Breakbeat it's not young people music. It's like just music.
Actually, that neo soul remix of I Want to Tell You very much reminds me of Ann Peebles' I Can't Stand the Rain, which we cover sometimes too.
But where's the neo
already.
soul come from?
To me, it's
Like all that stuff. So it's like, it's all like, we're not doing young people. Maybe young us because we're old now, but it's not. It's just music. Like I do a ton of classical music, and people don't get upset. So it's just cool. I think it's great. It's positive.
And what about Lava Pot?
That's the one that I remixed first. That was so metal that she got scared. She goes, "This should be a sexy song, not
Right.
like about me going with a machete and like killing his dog. Not even him. I'm like, okay, settle down."
I said, calm down.
Yeah.
Let's tame it a little.
It still came out really heavy. I don't know if you've
It
got
is
it.
heavy in a good way. I like it. We almost sound like it live anyway on that song. We're getting pretty heavy live with it.
I'm sorry.
I love it. It's so fun.
That song was good. I remember my son giving me some eyeballs because I popped a guitar string on his guitar doing that solo. He's like, it's like, I'm sorry. I was like, okay, fine. Funny enough, with Lava Pod, that's how I wanted to do that song from the very beginning, to go real heavy. But I guess I
Right.
was just a new bass substitute, so I couldn't really like speak my mind back then, But now I'm like, okay. So I think that now that's how actually I would like to hear more of it. Maybe not so heavy, but like more like Sabbath, more like Government Mule heavy, because her voice is huge. And when you put it on that context, it's just like perfect. It's just locks, makes me want to break windows.
Pancho has a background of being in a band with Slayer's drummer, Dave Lombardo, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I've been a metalhead since 7th grade.
But then he was in War for 15 years in the band War, and
it was funny.
Tower of Power. You're just diverse across the board. And then he sends me videos of him playing a classical piece that we should learn as a duet together. So it's just music. Good music is good music.
It's like from punk to funk. That's basically the trajectory. No, but it like I said, I've been labeled a metal bass player because that's what I love to do as an artist. That's actually where I think my art comes through the ECS, is when I do metal. And like, it's not like Cookie Monster metal. It's like real. It's cool. It's
intricate.
It's really
It's very
music. It's just it's all people playing metal. So imagine how much more frustrated I am than I was when I was 18. So it's freaking heavy and conflicting, which is great because that's what art is all about, I think. So it was a little easier for me, to do that remix. And like I was saying, sorry to keep talking about it, it's like I've been labeled as a metal, but I'm just a bass player. If I can play it, I play it, and if I can't, I'll set in someone that can. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that. No biggie. Yeah.
What do you think of that, Katie?
Anything he can't do, but okay. We'll see when that day comes.
Accounting, apparently.
And time and space.
That was didn't you say that was very Brian Eno influenced?
Yeah,
Pancho?
I think that was I love that whole, Harold Budd, Daniel Lanois, Brian Eno era, the whole ambient movement and music for airports, the Pearl and all that music for films, that has a huge mark on my musical genetic.
When
Like
I listen
huge.
to it, I picture two people dancing under the mirror ball, slow dancing under the mirror ball. That's what I picture when I hear that track.
Yeah, me too, but I was the bass player going like, fuck, those guys are so happy. Um, Yeah. No, so it was like that. I was trying to mix like that little genetic of the ambient movement on that song with the long snares, and you feel like you're underwater and it's very ethereal. And what I added differently was I played a fretless bass solo in the middle to give
Right.
it a more kind of organic, kind of bring it back to like it's Katie, it's organic, and it was a fretless bass because it felt dramatic enough. It wasn't a guitar, it wasn't a horn. It had to be something like weird that is not common on a pop song, kind of like what Pino Palladino did,
Mm.
and when he added his fretless lines, and it was like, whoa. But this, I was like, okay, let's bring it there, and it worked. It worked really well. I think I was not happy with the intonation of a few notes in that, but that's everybody's. It's like cutting your ear because you can't paint it, that type of thing. And
Yeah.
and then at the end, I added a blues solo with like a weird effect just to make it keep it on that weird vibe.
On guitar.
Yes.
Guitar solo at the end, yeah.
Yeah, and it was that. It was fun. It was like it was challenging because I didn't want to grid the song into like how now in production you can put everything on a grid and everything's quantized and perfect, and it works for certain scenarios like vampire like that. I put everything because it's house, it's for people on drugs. And on this song, I chopped the drums and I kind of make loops without them being on the grid. So it felt more like the tempo was like this, rather than a steady line. And that was very challenging to achieve edit wise, but then after I got that locked, it worked and it felt good. It feels like you can feel when you hear that song, it doesn't feel like it's a machine. It feels more like it's like, Wahoo. Anyway, I'm a nerd.
And what about Go?
Go.
Yeah.
Go was again based on that a lot of British influence in my musical genetic. I was thinking more of like a massive attackish kind of, trip hop kind of mixy, where you have those ambient elements and you have the hip hop elements and all together and you create that little vibe thinking about it.
Massive Attack was a huge influence to this project, actually, overall,
Yeah.
I feel.
I had the opportunity of doing a lot of music.
And again, I never.
Go ahead.
Oh,
What,
I
Kate?
never. It's funny. There's so much music out there where I don't realize I'm a fan until I hear it for the first time. And then I can say, I love this. We're just completely genre fluid. I think all of us are, really. Every
Yeah.
time I'm exposed to good music, I'm like, I like Cuban jazz way more than I ever thought now. What?
Yeah. I was aware of the whole scene. I remember in LA and I got a call from the manager from War saying, hey, I have some session work from you from this artist from England. And he goes, he's a bit odd. And I'm like, whatever. So he gives me his address with his nice penthouse over there. He had on Sunset and Doheny, Vine, somewhere around there, I remember. And I get there and the door opens and it's Tricky from Massive Attack, right? This little short black wolf full of testosterone mini pitbull guy, sweetheart of a guy with his guys, but like an edgy type of individual. And I had the opportunity to work with him in a lot of music and see how he created these loops that made him so famous. And it was very interesting because very unorthodox because I don't think he knows about the actual music, but what I realize he does know is he understands when things sound good. And that's actually sometimes even more important, right? Because you can
Mhm.
hire an arranger, you can hire an editor, you can hire a session bass, and then tell it what you want, what you're hearing, and that's how it works. Amazing guy, amazing guy. Yeah. So with that in mind, that use all that background, and that's how Go came out.
And Stillness.
Stillness.
What have you
That
done to
was that was
Stillness?
actually yeah, that was probably the easiest one to
Yeah,
do.
because there was nothing on it but vocal and piano on the album
Yeah.
of me. Yeah. So Al Rodriguez from the band War was a special guest on drums.
Uncle Saul, very key person in my life. That was easy because I just dumped the voice on a click track. I thought, what it's kind of a very revolutionary type of lyric. So I thought, what more revolution than freaking roots rock reggae type of vibe behind it? And
And that's how we play it live.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, that is one of my fortes as a bass player. Is dub and Caribbean stuff. I just love to play that that's so it was very simple. So I just put her voice on the click track and started messing around with dub bass lines. I came up with a bass line that kind of follows her voice a little bit on a reggae vibe. And then for the chorus, just the straight out riff on the first chorus. And on the second chorus, on the first part of the chorus, instead of the riff, a reharm to an F major, to a D minor, and to an E, back to the riff. And it was like pretty straightforward. I did repeat the chorus at the end twice because I felt like you need a little more. Now you have a band, you want to hear it more. Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was a quick one. I like that one.
Yeah. And the Devil's Armchair.
So he took that vocal hook of my harmony choir I made
Yeah.
and he centered on that, which I thought was really cool, the way the song opens up with it.
Yeah. It was I remember when we were in the studio recording the original, we had the whole complete song done and we needed a hook. And Katie went into her piano with a little music, what educated people do. And she sat in the piano and she wrote this little like is it four voices that you wrote?
It's more than
Oh, you see that. She wrote it down.
yeah, I stacked a lot.
Yeah, and then she went and cut it, and then she created that hook at the end. When I wish we would have done the same approach on the original song and fly that hook to the top. So good.
Yeah.
So when the opportunity came to do that on the original song, the bass line has a kind of a Chicano twist on it, kind of like a Northern California
Mm.
Latin, California vibe. I'm gonna say Northern California because it's more like a California style vibe. So in my experience, that type of bass line works really well with drum and bass, which is again another British music form, So I kind of like again dropped her vocal on a click track, programmed a drum and bass beat, and then recut the bass line to it, kind of more on that vibe. Like she said, I flew the vocals to the back. I messed around in the middle section with the horns and stuff, made a little ambient, kind of trippy, and that was that. It was pretty cool. I like how that one sounds.
I do too. I love when the tuba.
Yeah, I might have
Oh.
mixed it
And
tad bass heavy, so I'm
what do
sorry.
you think of the album, Katie, yourself?
It's a fun little in-between experiment.
Mhm.
It's kind of like kids on a trampoline. So going into this new year, I'm back to what I do, the more organic stuff. It might end up being this next record might be the bluesiest thing I've ever done, just to kind of stir up the pot again, be like, psych. But I don't know. It's just whatever comes out, comes out. I never write a song with a marketing plan in mind or a who's gonna like it thing in mind. I only create a song that gives me that feeling of excitement, because I know that if I'm excited enough about something, it will be really easy for me to communicate it performance-wise and marketing-wise. It'll be easy because I'll feel so elated. And as usual, some people will like stuff, some people won't, and that's totally okay. It's kind of like, you're not supposed to like the same varietal of wine across the board. So, yeah, it's fun. It's a fun little side product.
Would you agree with that, Pancho?
JB,
Your thoughts on the album?
I just told you my thoughts for like the past hour.
Yeah,
I love it.
know, but
I think you guys had enough of me, but I love it. I think, like I said,
not at all. Not at all.
yeah. I think.
What are your
like
hopes and fears for this album then?
for the dance me?
Yeah,
You
for
know,
the dance mix.
I hope people just really listen, and and just listen. And if they like it, like we said, great. And if they don't, just don't talk smack about it.
I like that we're inviting more demographic into our world. That's always nice, because a lot of people will not even take a listen if they see that Billboard titled me a blues artist and they don't technically listen to blues. So a lot of people that'll hear us live are like, oh, I thought this was going to be all blues. I didn't know what to expect. I really like this. I want to buy your stuff. That's always the experience we have, is we sell when we are live. I think sometimes it's easy for people to make a judgment before they hear anything. And that's normal. And we all have our filters.
I mean, there's absolutely no comparison between the two. Absolutely no comparison. I've been putting on number one, and it's been like, what's going on here? What have we been up to? It's like kids in a playground, as you say, just picking up something and just smashing it together. And it definitely works. It's crazy. It shouldn't, but it does. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask what you thought. Like if you have a favorite track or
well, my favorite track was always Lava Pot. On the original, that and Mud that you haven't covered in this one.
We didn't want to touch Mud. We thought it was in its sacred space.
Sometimes I get bored.
But certainly Lava Pot, it's just playing that live now compared to when you played it first. What would you get from that?
It's definitely heavier. My guitar is now electric instead of a dobro.
Right.
Going through this monstrous amp. It's just that alone has shifted our sound on stage with Lava Pot. But I also like to get pretty uninhibited in the vocals towards the end, where there's head banging and there's everything.
She's on the floor sometimes.
Sometimes I'm on the floor.
She's literally
laying on the floor.
Dirty stage, God knows who. I was like, oh my God, oh, what are you doing, Lord? Hey, that's what it is.
And have you played most of them live now?
Not the remixes. We always do Stillness in the new remix version. We're about to create the Neo Soul I Want to Tell You version as a band. And then Lava Pot is very similar to the new version. It's sort of an in-between the old and new. What matters is the energy.
Playing it live is going to be the thing.
Yeah, or not. I'm now already impatient to write more songs and get them out.
Right.
So it's like, this is a shiny pink vinyl that's selling a lot right now. And
that was the whole purpose. Like,
that's nice.
Business-wise, was to create a bridge between the creation of me and the creation of the next number 10. Not a bridge, but a little island that keeps us mentally sane as artists producing and being creative, right? And it tells the consumer or the art or the fan, say, hey, here's a little nugget of this weird stuff that I'm doing until I put my new album. you know. So it was more like that. It's kind of like
Mhm.
a momentum, you know, like we're keeping it rolling without being dormant for a year, without any new material, just playing
Mhm.
live songs and putting videos on that's not, no, why not, you know? But give them a little new product, a new vinyl, kind of like a little chapter of me. It's me, and now it's me, the remix
With
album.
with a fancy sparkly coat on.
Yeah, so now it's like it had a little. It's like me or me on Halloween. You know what I'm saying? With a little custom.
Yeah.
So that was from a business perspective. It's just like keep it rolling, keep
Oh, yeah.
producing. You know, and you in that maybe we'll do the
But,
same for them.
Yeah, it might be fun. We'll make the next normal record in this new year, and then again, an in between her remix album of favorite tracks of that one. You never know, or not.
Oh, you can
Why
go
not?
Depends
anywhere
on our
with
mood.
this. You can go anywhere with this, can't you? That's the thing.
Yeah, and like she has so much catalog that I can grab five of her songs that nobody knows about and make blues remixes and turn them into like masterful blues pieces, traditional sounding, you know, and do that. Like there's
Well,
enough
I'd rather
catalog
just.
there to work with, you know.
I'm
So
I'm thinking in the future. I want new material now. I'm already impatient.
you
It's
see,
already
watch, we're gonna next remix album is gonna be of all music. Watch it, all remixes of all songs.
no old
Anyway,
stuff.
it's all good.
It's all good. All good. It's all music at the end of the day, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
And
yes.
if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. You move
Colin, I
on.
appreciate your being so open-minded to include us in a
But
publication that's literally called Blues Matters.
no.
Yeah.
Everything was derived from something, so why not? It's all music. That's the way I see things, in which there's a big melting pot, and your melting
Yeah.
pot now has just made it's just boiled over. It's just it's
Hey,
just
that's a
totally
good title right
totally
there. The
boiled
melting
over.
pot
It's just
boiled
like,
over.
oh my goodness, I'm going, that shouldn't be there. That wasn't there. As you say, the tuba. What?
Yeah.
But
Well,
no,
that's
it's
fun.
it's great.
I'm glad that he made you think, and that it is like that he made you like, wow, what that was probably.
That's the thing. As soon as I saw this, it was like, right, okay, It's, and then I listened to it and listened to it again and listened to it again, and I got a feel for it, and it works. It works. I
Good.
may not say, right, okay, I don't like this particular brand of music, but I'll listen to it. I'll give it a go, and hopefully your fans will think that as well. They'll go along with you.
There
I
was
think they
also
have. I think I sold the same
Mhm.
amount of units as me, or maybe
Right.
that could have been new people, not all the old people, but I think the same amount of sales happened so far.
And you'll
well,
you'll still get the same demographics of an audience as well.
that's right.
Yeah, or new demographics.
Mm.
Yeah,
It's good.
who
You
knows?
the important thing I thought just to respect her songwriter quality was
Yes.
to grab the remix. Sometimes a remix they'll just grab two lines of the thing and repeat it over and over, put a break with it. It was very challenging to keep the songs as written. Like if you hear,
Mm.
I did a little bit of chopping on Vampire just to accommodate the thing, but every part of the song Vampire is in there. And
Yeah.
it's a little bit more, you know, like the bridge is there, the break, everything that was in the song form was kept, you know. Same with Devil's Armchair, and
Mm.
same with I Want to Tell You. It was the form. It wasn't just like I chop and I did loops of stuff and loop them together. So it was almost kind of like rewriting the song to the style rather than remixing a song, you know. And I think it worked. It was a little thicker than just a remix. It was more like a rewrite of a song just to to keep her
Yeah.
songwriting pedigree. Chop it up. Yes.
And now Katie wants to write more.
Yes, I'm impatient. I'm already going crazy. So I need to finish all these songs I have in my phone. I always use my little voice memo app, and I looked at it and I have like definitely enough to work off of to just finish those songs. So we're taking about a month and a half off of performances for the
Right.
holidays so that I can kind of shift focus on that.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yes.
Anything
think
else in the future for either of you or both
No.
of you?
We're just going to keep making things.
Yeah.
And as we make it, make sure that we feel excited like kids on trampolines. So whatever that ends up sounding like, it could be 100% rock and roll. It could be, we don't know yet, you know?
I think the important part right now as artists is to create, but to create with purpose and with the right message. You know, use what we do to get through what's going on and have fun. You know,
Yeah.
keep creating and performing.
Yeah.
Body guy told me I'm gonna live until I die. You know, that's it.
That's right. Right. On that note, then we'll say adieu
Thank
to you,
you.
to you and
Thank you
you.
so
It's
much.
been brilliant talking to you, and this album is just incredible. I mean, Me was brilliant, but this is just like ripping it
Thanks.
up and starting again.
No.
So, okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Colin.
Thank you, guys.